Habits shape our lives, defining who we are and determining the quality of our existence. Every action we take, whether small or significant, adds up to shape our destiny. The habits we form create the reality we live in today. They can either be the building blocks of success or the invisible chains holding us back. Many of us have dreams and goals, but often find ourselves unable to reach them. The culprit often lies in our daily routines, the negative habits that secretly hold us back. These habits are like weeds in a garden. If not identified and uprooted, they will choke the flowers of potential trying to bloom. The good news is that you can change. You can replace negative habits with life-enhancing ones, rewriting your story to create a stronger, more confident version of yourself. Today we'll explore 10 habits that may be ruining your life. By recognizing and changing these habits, you can transform your life and achieve the success you deserve. Habit 1. Procrastination, the thief of time. Procrastination is the habit of putting off important tasks, and it is one of the most destructive habits you can have. When we procrastinate, we waste valuable time that could have been used to move us closer to our goals. Every time you say, "I will do it tomorrow," you are stealing from your future self. Procrastination prevents success because it robs you of momentum. The longer you put off a task, the more daunting it becomes. Procrastination is often fueled by fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or even fear of success. But the only way to overcome fear is to take action. To break the habit of procrastination, start by taking small steps. Break your task into smaller, more manageable pieces and commit to working on them for just a few minutes. Often, the hardest part is getting started, but once you do, you'll find that it's easier to keep going. Remember, the key to success is consistent action. Identify the root cause of your procrastination. Are you afraid of failure or unsure of where to start? Once you understand why you're putting things off, you can address the underlying issue. If a task seems overwhelming, break it down into smaller steps. If you're afraid of failure, remind yourself that failure is part of the learning process and that taking action, even imperfect action, is better than doing nothing. Procrastination thrives in an environment of distraction. Create a focused work environment by eliminating distractions. Set specific times during the day to work on your most important tasks. Put your phone on silent and close unnecessary tabs on your computer. By creating an environment that supports productivity, you'll find it easier to overcome procrastination and take action. Habit 2. Negative self-talk, the enemy within. Negative self-talk is the voice inside your head that tells you that you can't do it, that you're not good enough, or that you'll never succeed. It is one of the most damaging habits you can have because it limits your potential and keeps you from taking action. The way you talk to yourself has a powerful impact on your mindset, your actions, and ultimately, your results. When you engage in negative self-talk, you create a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you tell yourself that you can't do something, you won't even try. If you believe that you're not worthy of success, you will sabotage your own efforts. Negative self-talk keeps you stuck in a cycle of fear and self-doubt, preventing you from reaching your full potential. The good news is that you can change your internal dialogue. You can replace negative self-talk with positive, empowering thoughts. Start by becoming aware of the negative thoughts that come up and challenge them. Ask yourself if they are really true. More often than not, they are based on fear, not reality. Replace those negative thoughts with affirmations, positive statements that remind you of your strengths and capabilities. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am capable and I can figure this out." Over time, these positive thoughts will become your new reality. Consider the example of Sarah, who struggled with negative self-talk for years. She constantly told herself she wasn't smart enough to succeed in her career. This belief held her back from applying for promotions and taking on new challenges. One day, Sarah decided to change her internal dialogue. She started using positive affirmations daily and surrounded herself with supportive friends. Gradually, she began to believe in her own abilities. Within a year, Sarah applied for a promotion she once thought was out of reach and got it. By changing her self-talk, she was able to break free from her limitations and achieve her goals. Another powerful way to combat negative self-talk is to practice gratitude. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it's harder to dwell on negative thoughts. Take a few minutes each day to write down 3 things you're grateful for. They can be big or small. Anything that brings you joy or makes you feel good. Practicing gratitude helps shift your focus away from what's wrong and towards what's right in your life, which in turn helps to quiet the negative voice inside your head. It's also important to surround yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with can have a significant impact on your mindset. If you're surrounded by people who are constantly negative or critical, it's likely that their negativity will rub off on you. On the other hand, if you spend time with people who are positive, supportive, and uplifting, their positivity will influence you as well. Seek out relationships with people who encourage you, believe in you, and lift you up. Their support will help you develop a more positive internal dialogue. Habit 3, comparing yourself to others. One of the most common habits that ruin people's lives is comparing themselves to others. With the rise of social media, it's easier than ever to see what others are doing and to feel like you're not measuring up. But here's the truth: comparing yourself to others is a recipe for dissatisfaction and unhappiness. It keeps you focused on what you lack rather than on what you have. Each person's journey is unique. We all have different strengths, weaknesses, and experiences. When you compare yourself to someone else, you're not seeing the full picture. You're only seeing their highlight reel, not the struggles and challenges they've faced. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own progress. Set your own goals and measure your success based on your growth, not someone else's. Remember, life is not a competition. The only person you should be competing with is yourself. Focus on becoming a better version of yourself each day, and you'll find that you are happier and more fulfilled. One effective way to stop comparing yourself to others is to limit your time on social media. Social media often presents an unrealistic picture of people's lives, making it easy to feel inadequate. If you find that social media is causing you to compare yourself to others, take a break. Spend that time focusing on your own goals and accomplishments instead. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel when you're not constantly comparing yourself to others. Another important step is to celebrate your own successes, no matter how small they may seem. When you achieve something, take a moment to acknowledge it and feel proud of yourself. Keep a journal where you write down your accomplishments and revisit it whenever you need a boost of confidence. By focusing on your own progress and celebrating your own wins, you will be less likely to compare yourself to others and more likely to feel content and fulfilled. Habit 4, living without clear goals. One of the biggest reasons people fail to achieve success is because they don't have clear, defined goals. Without goals, you have no direction. You're like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly, hoping to end up somewhere good. But hope is not a strategy. If you want to achieve success, you need to have clear, specific goals that guide your actions. When you set goals, you give yourself a target to aim for. Goals provide you with a sense of purpose and direction. They help you focus your time and energy on what really matters, and they give you a sense of accomplishment when you achieve them. Without goals, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day grind and lose sight of what you really want to achieve. To set meaningful goals, start by thinking about what you really want in life. What are your dreams? What do you want to accomplish? Once you have a clear vision, break it down into smaller, achievable goals. Write them down and create a plan to achieve them. Remember, the key to achieving your goals is to take consistent action, no matter how small. It's also important to review your goals regularly. Life is constantly changing, and your goals may need to be adjusted along the way. Take time each month to review your goals and assess your progress. Are you on track? Do you need to make any changes to your plan? Regularly reviewing your goals will help you stay focused and motivated. In addition, make sure your goals are aligned with your values. When your goals are in alignment with what truly matters to you, you will be more motivated to achieve them. Take some time to think about your values and what is most important to you. Then set goals that reflect those values. For example, if one of your values is family, set goals that allow you to spend more quality time with your loved ones. When your goals are aligned with your values, you will feel a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment as you work towards them. Habit 5, not taking responsibility, the blame game. Blaming others for your failures is a habit that will keep you stuck in life. When you refuse to take responsibility for your actions, you give away your power. You become a victim of circumstances rather than the creator of your own destiny. The truth is, the only person who is responsible for your life is you. Taking responsibility is not always easy. It requires you to be honest with yourself and to acknowledge your mistakes. But it is also incredibly empowering. When you take responsibility for your actions, you take control of your life. You realize that you have the power to change your circumstances and create the life you want. Let me share a story with you. There was a man who, for years, blamed his lack of success on his boss, his family, and even the economy. He believed that his circumstances were holding him back. But one day he decided to take responsibility for his life. He stopped blaming others and started taking action. He worked on his skills, set goals, and took consistent action. Today, he is successful and fulfilled, not because his circumstances changed, but because he changed. When you take responsibility, you become the author of your own story. You stop being a passive observer and start being an active participant in your life. You begin to see challenges as opportunities to learn and grow rather than obstacles that are holding you back. You start to realize that you have the power to create the life you want, and that power comes from within. One way to start taking responsibility is to change your language. Instead of saying, I can't do this because of someone or something else, say, what can I do to overcome this challenge? Shifting your language from blame to action will help you take ownership of your life and your circumstances. Remember, no one else is responsible for your success or happiness. You are. Habit 6, poor time management, wasting your most precious resource. Time is your most valuable resource. Once it's gone, you can't get it back. Yet, so many people waste time on activities that don't bring them closer to their goals. Poor time management is a habit that can prevent you from achieving success, no matter how talented or capable you are. To manage your time effectively, you need to prioritize your tasks. Focus on the activities that will have the biggest impact on your life and your goals. Avoid time-wasting activities like excessive social media use or watching TV for hours. Instead, use your time to work on your goals, learn new skills, and improve yourself. One of the best ways to improve your time management is to plan your day in advance. Take a few minutes each evening to write down the tasks you need to accomplish the next day. Prioritize them based on their importance and commit to completing them. Remember, time is your most precious resource. Use it wisely. Another important aspect of time management is learning to say no. Many people find themselves overwhelmed and overcommitted because they have a hard time saying no to others. While it's important to be helpful and supportive, it's also important to protect your time and prioritize your own goals. If someone asks you to do something that doesn't align with your goals or that you simply don't have time for, it's okay to say no. By setting boundaries and protecting your time, you'll be able to focus on what truly matters and make meaningful progress toward your goals. It's also helpful to break larger tasks into smaller, more manageable pieces. When you have a big project to work on, it can feel overwhelming and it's easy to put it off. But by breaking it down into smaller steps, you can make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. For example, if you need to write a report, start by outlining the sections, then work on one section at a time. By breaking tasks into smaller pieces, you'll be able to manage your time more effectively and make consistent progress. Habit 7, associating with negative people. The people you spend time with have a powerful influence on your mindset and your success. If you surround yourself with negative people, their negativity will rub off on you. They will bring you down, fill your mind with doubt, and prevent you from reaching your full potential. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with positive, supportive people, they lift you up. They inspire you to be your best self, and they encourage you to pursue your goals. If you want to be successful, you need to be intentional about the people you spend time with. If there are negative people in your life who are holding you back, it's time to distance yourself from them. This doesn't mean you have to cut them out completely, but you should limit the amount of time you spend with them. Instead, seek out people who are positive, motivated, and supportive. Surround yourself with people who believe in you and your potential, and you'll find that you are more motivated and inspired to achieve your goals. Consider the story John, who used to spend most of his time with friends who were always negative and critical. They constantly complained about their jobs and blamed others for their problems. John realized that their negativity was affecting his own mindset and holding him back from pursuing his goals. He decided to limit his time with them and instead joined a local business group where he met positive, like-minded individuals. The new connections he made inspired him to take action towards his dreams, and within a year, John had started his own successful business. By distancing himself from negative influences and surrounding himself with positive people, John was able to transform his life. One way to find positive influences is to join groups or communities that align with your interests and goals. Whether it's a professional organization, a hobby group, or an online community, surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals can provide you with the support and encouragement you need to succeed. Being part of a positive community can help you stay motivated, learn new things, and overcome challenges. Another way to attract positive people into your life is to be a positive person yourself. When you have a positive attitude, you naturally attract others who share that mindset. Focus on being kind, supportive, and encouraging to those around you, and you'll find that you start to build relationships with people who are positive and uplifting. Remember, positivity is contagious. When you spread it, it comes back to you. Habit 8, lack of self-discipline, the bridge to nowhere. Self-discipline is the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It is one of the most important habits for success, yet so many people lack it. Without self-discipline, it's easy to give in to distractions, procrastinate, and avoid the hard work that is necessary for success. The lack of self-discipline is like a bridge to nowhere. It keeps you from crossing over to the life you want to live. But the good news is that self-discipline is a skill that can be developed. Start by setting small goals for yourself and committing to achieving them. Each time you follow through on a commitment, you strengthen your self-discipline. One of the best ways to develop self-discipline is to create routines and stick to them. For example, if you want to exercise more, commit to working out at the same time each day. If you want to be more productive, set aside specific times each day to work on your goals. The more you practice self-discipline, the stronger it will become, and the easier it will be to achieve your goals. Another powerful way to build self-discipline is to eliminate temptations. If you know that you are easily distracted by your phone, put it away while you're working. If you tend to eat unhealthy snacks when you're trying to diet, remove those snacks. By eliminating temptations, you make it easier to stay on track and build the discipline you need to succeed. It's also helpful to remind yourself of the long-term benefits of self-discipline. When you're tempted to give in to a distraction or avoid a task, take a moment to think about your goals and why they are important to you. Visualize yourself achieving those goals and the sense of accomplishment and fulfillment that comes with it. By focusing on the long-term rewards, you'll be more motivated to stay disciplined and do what needs to be done. Habit 9, fear of failure, paralyzing your potential. Fear of failure is one of the biggest obstacles to success. It prevents us from taking action, trying new things, and stepping out of our comfort zone. But the truth is, failure is a natural part of the journey to success. Every successful person has failed at some point, and it's through failure that we learn and grow. Instead of fearing failure, embrace it. See it as a learning experience and an opportunity to grow. When you fail, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I do better next time? The more you embrace failure, the less power it has over you. Remember, the only true failure is not trying at all. Take risks, step out of your comfort zone, and don't be afraid to fail. It's through failure that you will find success. One way to overcome the fear of failure is to reframe your perspective on failure. Instead of seeing failure as a negative outcome, see it as a necessary step towards growth and success. Every time you fail, you are gaining valuable experience and learning important lessons that will help you improve. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times, but they didn't let those failures stop them. They used them as stepping stones to achieve greatness. Another important step is to take action despite your fear. Fear often grows when we overthink and dwell on what could go wrong. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, take action. Start small if you need to, but take a step forward. The more you take action, the more confident you will become, and the less power fear will have over you. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. It's taking action in spite of fear. Habit 10. Living in the past, the weight of yesterday. Dwelling on past mistakes and failures is a habit that can hold you back from living the life you want. When you focus on the past, you are unable to move forward. You carry the weight of yesterday, and it prevents you from embracing the opportunities of today. The past cannot be changed, but the future is in your hands. Let go of the past and focus on the present and the future. Learn from your mistakes, but don't dwell on them. Instead, use them as stepping stones to become a better version of yourself. Remember, every day is a new opportunity to create the life you want. One powerful way to let go of the past is to practice forgiveness. Forgive yourself for the mistakes you've made and forgive others who may have hurt you. Holding on to anger, resentment, or regret only weighs you down and prevents you from moving forward. By practicing forgiveness, you free yourself from the burdens of the past and create space for new opportunities and growth. It's also important to focus on the present moment. The present is the only moment you have control over, and it's where you have the power to create change. Practice mindfulness by bringing your attention to the here and now. When you find yourself dwelling on the past, gently bring your focus back to the present. What can you do today to move closer to your goals? By focusing on the present, you can take meaningful action and create a better future. The key to focusing on the present moment is to develop a mindfulness practice that works for you. Mindfulness can take many forms. It can be as simple as taking a few deep breaths, going for a walk in nature, or engaging in a hobby that brings you joy. The goal is to bring your awareness to the present and fully experience what you are doing without judgment. The more you practice mindfulness, the better you will become at staying present and letting go of the past. Another effective way to stay present is to set daily intentions. At the beginning of each day, take a moment to set an intention for what you want to accomplish or how you want to feel. This could be something as simple as, today I will be patient unto myself, or today I will take one step towards my goal. Setting an intention helps you stay focused on the present and gives you a sense of purpose for the day. It also helps you let go of the past and any worries about the future, allowing you to make the most of each moment. It's also important to practice self-compassion. Many people get stuck in the past because they are overly critical of themselves and their mistakes. They replay their past actions over and over again, wishing they'd done things differently. But this kind of self-criticism only keeps you stuck. Instead, practice self-compassion by treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes and that you are doing the best you can. By being gentle with yourself, you can let go of the past and focus on creating a better future. Living in the present also means being open to new opportunities. When you are focused on the past, you may miss out on the opportunities that are right in front of you. Practice being open and curious about the present moment. Notice the people you meet, the experiences you have, and the opportunities that come your way. When you are fully present, you are more likely to recognize and take advantage of the opportunities that can help you grow and move forward. Finally, remember that the present is a gift. It is the only moment you have to take action and make a difference in your life. The past is gone, the future is yet to come, but the present is here right now waiting for you to make the most of it. Embrace the present moment, take action, and create the life you want. By letting go of the past and focusing on the here and now, you can create a future that is bright, fulfilling, and full of possibilities. Hello, everybody. We are going to explore 10 powerful habits that, when cultivated consistently, will transform you into an unstoppable force. These aren't quick fixes or overnight solutions. They're fundamental practices that, over time, will reshape your mindset, boost your productivity, and propel you towards your goals with unwavering momentum. Before we dive into these habits, I want you to understand something crucial. Becoming unstoppable is a choice. It's a decision you make every single day, sometimes every single moment. It's about choosing growth over comfort, action over procrastination, perseverance over giving up. The first and perhaps most crucial habit is developing absolute clarity about your purpose. Without a clear sense of direction, you are like a ship without a rudder drifting aimlessly in the vast ocean of life. To become unstoppable, you need to know exactly what you want and why you want it. This clarity acts as your North Star, guiding every decision you make and every action you take. It provides the fuel for your motivation when times get tough, and it gives meaning to your daily efforts. Developing clarity of purpose is not always easy. It requires deep self-reflection and honesty. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? What kind of impact do I want to have on the world? What would I do if I knew I couldn't fail? Once you have a clear purpose, write it down. Make it specific and measurable. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, say, I want to build $1 million business that helps small entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. The more specific you are, the more real and achievable your purpose becomes. To review your purpose daily, let it be the first thing you think about when you wake up and the last thing on your mind before you go to sleep. This constant reminder will keep you focused and motivated, even when faced with distractions or setbacks. Your purpose may evolve over time, and that's okay. The important thing is to always have clear direction that excites and motivates you. Your purpose is not just about what you want to achieve, but who you want to become in the process. Consider creating a personal mission statement. This concise statement should encapsulate your core values, long-term goals, and the impact you want to have on the world. Refer to this mission statement regularly, especially when making important decisions. It will help ensure that your actions align with your deepest values and aspirations. The second habit of unstoppable individuals is unwavering self-discipline. Self-discipline is the ability to make yourself do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. It's the foundation upon which all success is built. Developing self-discipline is like building a muscle. It requires consistent effort and practice. Start small. Set a goal to wake up 15 minutes earlier each day for a week. Once you have mastered that, increase it to 30 minutes. Then apply this same principle to other areas of your life. Your work, your health, your relationships. One powerful way to build self-discipline is through the practice of delayed gratification. In a world of instant rewards, the ability to forgo immediate pleasure for long-term gain is a superpower. Next time you are tempted to procrastinate or indulge in a harmful habit, pause. Remind yourself of your long-term goals and choose the action that aligns with those goals, even if it's less pleasurable in the moment. Another key aspect of self-discipline is developing strong daily routines. Unstoppable individuals do not rely on motivation or willpower. They create systems and routines that make success inevitable. Design your day in a way that supports your goals. If health is a priority, schedule your workout first thing in the morning. If productivity is your focus, block out specific times for deep work, free from distractions. Self-discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. There will be days when you falter, and that's okay. The key is to get back on track as quickly as possible. Do not let one slip-up derail your entire journey. Cultivate a mindset of personal responsibility. Understand that you are in control of your actions and your reactions. Do not blame external circumstances for your lack of discipline. Instead, take ownership of your choices and their consequences. Practice mindfulness to strengthen your self-discipline. Being aware of your thoughts and impulses allows you to make conscious choices rather than reacting on autopilot. When you feel the urge to procrastinate or give in to a temptation, observe that impulse without judgment. Then consciously choose to act in alignment with your goals. The third habit of unstoppable individuals is a commitment to continuous learning. In today's rapidly changing world, the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. Unstoppable individuals are voracious learners. They understand that knowledge is power, and they seek it relentlessly. They read books, attend seminars, take courses, and surround themselves with people who challenge and expand their thinking. But it's not just about accumulating information, it's about applying what you learn. For every book you read, every podcast you listen to, ask yourself, how can I use this information to improve my life or achieve my goals? Develop the habit of setting aside time each day for learning. It could be 30 minutes of reading in the morning or listening to educational podcasts during your commute. The specific method does not matter as much as the consistency. Learning is not limited to formal education. Some of the most valuable lessons come from real-life experiences. Reflect on your successes and failures, what worked, what didn't, why. This self-reflection is a powerful form of learning that will accelerate your growth. Also, do not limit your learning to your field of expertise. Some of the most innovative ideas come from applying concepts from one field to another. Broaden your horizons. If you are in business, study psychology. If you're in technology, learn about art. This cross-pollination of ideas will make you more creative and adaptable. Embrace a beginner's mindset. No matter how much you know, there's always more to learn. Approach each situation with curiosity and openness. Be willing to question your assumptions and challenge your existing beliefs. Create a personal learning plan. Identify key areas where you want to improve or expand your knowledge. Set specific learning goals and create a roadmap to achieve them. This could include books to read, courses to take, or skills to master. Teaching is one of the most effective ways to solidify your own understanding. Look for opportunities to mentor others or share your expertise. This not only helps others, but also deepens your own grasp of the subject matter. The fourth habit of unstoppable individuals is the willingness to embrace discomfort. Growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you want to achieve great things, you must be willing to step out of your comfort zone. Unstoppable individuals understand that discomfort is not something to be avoided, but something to be sought out. They know that on the other side of discomfort lies growth, achievement, and success. Start small. Each day, do something that scares you or makes you uncomfortable. It could be striking up a conversation with a stranger, trying a new exercise routine, or tackling that project you have been putting off. As you do this consistently, you will find that your comfort zone expands. What once seemed daunting becomes manageable, even enjoyable. Discomfort is temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. When you are facing a challenging situation, remind yourself, this discomfort is making me stronger. It's bringing me closer to my goals. Embracing discomfort also means being willing to fail. Unstoppable individuals understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. They view failure as feedback, as a learning opportunity. When they fail, they do not beat themselves up. They ask, what can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to become better? Practice reframing discomfort as excitement. The physiological responses to fear and excitement are very similar. By consciously choosing to interpret your body's signals as excitement, rather than fear, you can transform anxiety into positive energy. Develop a growth mindset. Believe that your abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. This mindset allows you to see challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to be avoided. Set stretch goals. These are goals that are just beyond your current capabilities. They should make you slightly uncomfortable, but still be achievable with effort and growth. Regularly pursuing stretch goals keeps you in a state of continuous improvement. Embrace constructive criticism. Feedback can be uncomfortable, but it's essential for growth. Seek out honest feedback from mentors, colleagues, and friends. Learn to separate your ego from the feedback and use it as a tool for improvement. The fifth habit of unstoppable individuals is relentless focus. In a world full of distractions, the ability to focus intensely on your most important tasks is a superpower. Unstoppable individuals are masters of their attention. They understand that where focus goes, energy flows. They ruthlessly eliminate distractions and channel their energy towards their most important goals. Develop the habit of identifying your most important tasks each day. These are the tasks that, if completed, will move you significantly closer to your goals. Focus on these tasks first when your energy and willpower are at their highest. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. Be selective about what you commit to. Ask yourself, does this align with my goals? Is this the best use of my time and energy? Practice single tasking. Despite the myth of multitasking, our brains are not designed to focus on multiple things at once. When you are working on a task, give it your full attention. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs on your computer, and create an environment that supports deep focus. Utilize techniques like the Pomodoro technique. Work intensely for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This allows you to maintain high levels of focus without burning out. Focus is like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger it becomes. Start with short periods of focused work and gradually increase the duration as your focus muscle strengthens. Create a distraction-free environment. Identify your biggest distractions and find ways to eliminate or minimize them. This might mean turning off your phone, using website blockers, or finding a quiet workspace. Practice mindfulness meditation. Regular meditation can significantly improve your ability to focus. Even just a few minutes a day can make a difference. Start with guided meditations and gradually work up to longer sessions. Use the power of visualization. Before starting a task, take a moment to visualize yourself completing it successfully. This mental rehearsal can improve your focus and performance. Regularly review and adjust your goals. Ensure that what you are focusing on aligns with your long-term objectives. It's easy to get caught up in busy work that does not actually move you closer to your goals. The sixth habit of unstoppable individuals is resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way. It's not the challenges themselves that define you, but how you respond to them. Unstoppable individuals view adversity not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone. They understand that every challenge carries within it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. They ask, what's good about this situation? What can I learn from this? How can I use this to become stronger? Developing resilience starts with your mindset. Cultivate a growth mindset, the belief that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and learning. When you face a setback, do not say, I can't do this. Say, can't do this yet. Practice reframing negative situations. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, ask yourself, what went right? What can I be grateful for in this situation? This does not mean ignoring the reality of difficult situations. It means choosing to focus on aspects that empower you rather than discourage you. Build a support network. Resilience does not mean going it alone. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who can offer support and perspective when times get tough. Resilience is not about never falling down. It's about always getting back up. Every time you face a challenge and overcome it, you are building your resilience muscle. You are proving to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws your way. Develop healthy coping mechanisms. Find positive ways to deal with stress and setbacks. This could be exercise, meditation, journaling, or talking with a trusted friend. Having these tools at your disposal will help you navigate difficult times more effectively. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself when you face setbacks. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a good friend. Self-compassion has been shown to increase resilience and overall well-being. Set realistic expectations. While it's important to have ambitious goals, setting unrealistic expectations can lead to unnecessary disappointment. Break big goals into smaller, manageable steps. Celebrate progress along the way. Learn from role models. Study the lives of resilient individuals, both historical figures and people in your own life. How did they overcome adversity? What strategies did they use? Apply these lessons to your own life. The seventh habit of unstoppable individuals is proactive health management. Your body is the vehicle through which you will achieve all your goals. Neglect it, and you are sabotaging your own success. Unstoppable individuals understand that peak performance starts with peak health. They do not wait for health issues to arise before taking action. They proactively manage their physical and mental health to ensure they're always operating at their best. Start by prioritizing sleep. Quality sleep is the foundation of good health and high performance. Aim for 7-9 hours of sleep each night. Create a relaxing bedtime routine and stick to consistent sleep and wake times, even on weekends. Exercise regularly. Find a form of physical activity you enjoy and make it a non-negotiable part of your daily routine. It could be weight training, yoga, running, or any other form of exercise. The key is consistency. Eat a balanced, nutritious diet. Fuel your body with whole, unprocessed food. Stay hydrated. Remember, food is not just calories, it's information for your body. Choose foods that nourish and energize you. Do not neglect your mental health. Practice stress management techniques like meditation, deep breathing, or journaling. Take regular breaks throughout the day to recharge. Learn to recognize the signs of burnout and take action before it sets in. Health is wealth. Investing in your health is investing in your success. When you feel good physically and mentally, you are more productive, more creative, and more resilient. You have the energy and clarity to pursue your goals with intensity and focus. Get regular checkups and screenings. Do not wait for symptoms to appear before seeing a doctor. Preventive care can catch potential issues early when they're easier to treat. Practice mindfulness. Being present in the moment can reduce stress, improve mental clarity, and enhance overall well-being. Incorporate mindfulness practices into your daily routine, even if it's just a few minutes of conscious breathing. Manage your energy, not just your time. Identify the activities that energize you and those that drain you. Structure your day to maximize your energy levels. This might mean tackling challenging tasks when you are naturally most alert or taking short breaks to recharge throughout the day. Cultivate positive relationships. Strong social connections are crucial for mental health and longevity. Make time for friends and family. Nurture relationships that support and uplift you. The eighth habit of unstoppable individuals is effective time management. Time is our most precious resource. Once spent, it can never be regained. Unstoppable individuals understand this and treat their time with the respect it deserves. Start by conducting a time audit. For a week, track how you spend every hour of your day. You might be surprised at how much time is wasted on unproductive activities. Once you have this data, look for areas where you can eliminate time wasters and optimize your schedule. Use the 80-20 principle, also known as the Pareto principle. This states that 80 of your results come from 20 of your efforts. Identify the activities that give you the biggest return on your time investment and prioritize these. Learn to distinguish between urgent and important tasks. Often we get caught up in urgent but unimportant tasks, neglecting the important but non-urgent activities that truly move us towards our goals. Use tools like the Eisenhower matrix to prioritize your tasks effectively. Batch similar tasks together. Context switching, moving between different types of tasks, can be a major time waster. Instead, group similar tasks and tackle them in dedicated time blocks. Use tools and technology to your advantage. There are countless apps and software designed to help with time management, from simple to-do lists to complex project management systems. Find the tools that work for you and incorporate them into your daily routine. The goal of time management is not to fill every moment with activity. It's to ensure that you are spending your time in alignment with your goals and values. Effective time management allows you to focus on what truly matters, reducing stress and increasing productivity. Develop the habit of planning your day the night before. This allows you to hit the ground running each morning rather than wasting time figuring out what to do. It also gives your subconscious mind time to work on your tasks overnight, often leading to creative solutions by morning. Learn to delegate effectively. You do not have to do everything yourself. Identify tasks that can be done by others and free up your time for high-value activities that only you can do. This not only makes you more productive, but also empowers others and helps them grow. Practice the 2-minute rule. If a task will take less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately rather than putting it off. This prevents small tasks from piling up and becoming overwhelming. Use time blocking to structure your day. Assign specific blocks of time to different types of tasks or projects. This helps create a rhythm to your day and ensures you are making progress on all important areas. Build in buffer time between tasks or appointments. This allows for unexpected delays and gives you time to recharge between activities. It's better to overestimate the time needed and finish early than to constantly run behind schedule. Learn to say no more often. Every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. Be selective about your commitments and ensure they align with your goals and values. Regularly review and adjust your time management strategies. What works for you may change over time, so be willing to experiment with different techniques and adapt as necessary. The 9th habit of unstoppable individuals is building and nurturing strong relationships. No one achieves great success alone. Unstoppable individuals understand the power of relationships and invest time and energy in building a strong network. Cultivate active listening skills. Really focus on understanding others, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Ask thoughtful questions and show genuine interest in others' perspectives and experiences. Practice empathy. Try to see situations from others' points of view. This not only helps build stronger connections, but also broadens your own understanding and perspective. Be reliable and keep your word. Trust is the foundation of strong relationships. When you make a commitment, follow through. If circumstances change and you can't fulfill a promise, communicate promptly and honestly. Show appreciation regularly. Take time to acknowledge and thank others for their contributions, no matter how small. A sincere thank you go a long way in strengthening relationships. Nurture your existing relationships. While it's important to expand your network, do not neglect the relationships you already have. Make time for family and longtime friends. These deep connections provide a foundation of support and stability. Be willing to be vulnerable. Sharing your own challenges and uncertainties can create deeper connections and encourage others to open up as well. Look for ways to add value to others' lives. This could be through sharing knowledge, offering help, or simply being a supportive listener. When you focus on giving rather than getting, you build goodwill and strengthen your relationships. Practice forgiveness. Holding grudges only hurts you in the long run. Learn to let go of past hurts and move forward. This does not mean tolerating bad behavior, but rather freeing yourself from the negative emotions associated with past conflicts. Seek out mentors and be willing to mentor others. These relationships can be incredibly rewarding and provide opportunities for growth on both sides. Building strong relationships takes time and effort. It's not about collecting the most business cards or LinkedIn connections. It's about creating meaningful, mutually beneficial relationships that stand the test of time. The 10th and final habit of unstoppable individuals is continuous self-reflection and improvement. This habit ties all the others together and ensures that you are constantly growing and evolving. Set aside regular time for self-reflection. This could be daily, weekly, or monthly. Use this time to review your progress, celebrate your wins, and identify areas for improvement. What am I proud of? What could I have done better? What did I learn? How am I progressing towards my goals? What adjustments do I need to make? Keep a journal to track your thoughts, experiences, and insights. This can be a powerful tool for self-discovery and personal growth. Seek feedback from others. We all have blind spots, and others can often see things in us that we can't see ourselves. Be open to constructive criticism and view it as an opportunity for growth. Set specific, measurable goals for personal improvement. Once you have identified areas where you want to grow, create an action plan. What steps can you take? What resources do you need? Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself as you work on self-improvement. Remember, the goal is progress, not perfection. Regularly reassess your goals and priorities. As you grow and change, your goals may evolve too. Be willing to adjust your course as needed. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Recognizing your growth will motivate you to continue improving. Let me share a story that illustrates the power of these habits in action. Zara had always dreamed of starting her own business, but fear and self-doubt held her back. She had a comfortable job, but deep down she knew she was capable of much more. One day Zara decided enough was enough. She was tired of letting fear dictate her life. She committed to developing these 10 habits we've discussed. She started by getting clear on her purpose. After weeks of soul-searching, she crystallized her vision. She wanted to start a company that would help small businesses leverage technology to compete with larger corporations. With her purpose clear, Zara began to work on her self-discipline. She set her alarm an hour earlier each day, using that time to work on her business plan. It wasn't easy. There were many mornings when she wanted to hit the snooze button. But she reminded herself of her purpose and pushed through the discomfort. Zara committed to continuous learning. She read books on entrepreneurship, took online courses in business and technology, and attended local networking events. She embraced the discomfort of putting herself out there, of admitting what she didn't know. She practiced relentless focus, identifying her most important tasks each day and tackling them first. She learned to say no to distractions and time wasters, channeling all her energy into her goal. There were setbacks, of course. Her first attempt at a business plan was rejected by potential investors, but Zara didn't let this defeat her. She viewed it as feedback, an opportunity to learn and improve. She refined her plan, sought advice from mentors, and tried again. Zara prioritized her health, understanding that she needed to be at her best to achieve her dreams. She established a regular exercise routine, improved her diet, and made sure to get enough sleep each night. She managed her time meticulously, using tools and techniques to maximize her productivity. She built strong relationships, networking with other entrepreneurs and industry experts, always seeking to add value to others. Throughout this journey, Zara regularly reflected on her progress. She celebrated her wins, learned from her setbacks, and continually adjusted her approach based on what was working and what wasn't. 2 years later, Zara's business was not just a dream, but a thriving reality. She had created a successful company that was making a real difference for small businesses. More importantly, Zara had transformed herself. She was more confident, more resilient, and more fulfilled than she had ever been. Zara's story shows us that these habits are not just theoretical concepts. When applied consistently, they have the power to transform lives and turn dreams into reality. I want to emphasize that becoming unstoppable is not about achieving perfection. It's about consistent progress, about getting back up every time you fall, about pushing your limits and expanding your capabilities. These 10 habits: clarity of purpose, unwavering self-discipline, continuous learning, embracing discomfort, relentless focus, resilience in the face of adversity, proactive health management, effective time management, building strong relationships, and continuous self-reflection and improvement are your toolkit for success. Knowledge alone is not power. Knowledge is only potential power. It's the application of knowledge that gives you real power. So I challenge you to not just listen to these ideas, but to act on them. Start today. Start now. Choose one habit to focus on this week. Maybe it's clarifying your purpose. Maybe it's improving your time management. Whatever it is, commit to it. Take action, no matter how small. And as you implement these habits, remember that becoming unstoppable is a journey, not a destination. It's about who you become in the process of pursuing your goals. It's about continually growing, learning, and pushing yourself to new heights. You have greatness within you. You have the potential to achieve amazing things. But that potential remains dormant until you decide to act on it. So wake up each morning with a burning desire to make progress. Face your fears, embrace discomfort, and keep pushing forward. The world needs what you have to offer. Your dreams matter. Your goals are important. Do not let another day go by without taking action towards them, because when you become unstoppable, you not only transform your own life, but you inspire and elevate those around you. So go forth with courage and determination. Implement these habits, stay committed to your growth, and become the unstoppable force you were always meant to be. Your future self will thank you for the actions you take today. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Take that step now and do not look back. Your unstoppable future awaits. Thank you. The poorest people in the room aren't those with empty bank accounts. They're those with empty mindsets, clinging to outdated beliefs about wealth that keep them chained to mediocrity while they blame circumstances for their financial situation. You've been systematically programmed to follow wealth-repelling habits that guarantee you'll never achieve financial freedom. Habits instilled by well-meaning parents, reinforced by an educational system designed to create employees rather than owners, and cemented by a culture that celebrates consumption over creation. Every morning, you make a series of seemingly innocent decisions that silently sabotage your financial future, while the truly wealthy, those who've broken free from these destructive patterns, follow a completely different set of daily rituals that virtually guarantee their success. The most shocking truth I've discovered after decades studying self-made millionaires isn't that they're smarter, luckier, or more privileged than you. It's that they've simply replaced common daily habits with uncommon ones that most people are unwilling to adopt despite their simplicity. Every morning, two people wake up at exactly the same time. Both have similar intelligence, similar opportunities, and similar dreams. Yet 20 years later, one struggles financially while the other has built extraordinary wealth. The difference isn't luck. It isn't family connections. It isn't even education. The difference is in what they do during those first precious minutes after opening their eyes, and every minute thereafter. The difference is in their daily habits. What you do repeatedly, often unconsciously, shapes your destiny more powerfully than any single decision you'll ever make. Your habits are silently guiding you toward wealth or keeping you locked in financial mediocrity. The truth is that wealth is rarely built through a single brilliant idea or lucky break. It's built through small, consistent actions performed day after day, year after year. These actions compound over time, just like interest in a bank account, creating results that eventually appear almost miraculous to outside observers. These aren't complex formulas requiring genius-level intelligence. They're simple practices available to anyone willing to implement them consistently. The challenge isn't understanding these habits. It's having the discipline to practice them when everyone around you is making different choices. Today, I'm going to share the 10 daily habits that transform ordinary people into millionaires. Some may surprise you with their simplicity. Others may challenge deeply ingrained patterns in your life. All of them, if applied consistently, will dramatically alter your financial trajectory. But before we begin, ask yourself this question. Are you truly ready for change? Because understanding these habits isn't enough. Information without action is merely entertainment. You must be willing to do what others won't to achieve what others don't. Let's begin with the first habit that separates future millionaires from everyone else. Habitos. They wake up early with purpose. Yam sounds. It's 5-0. And do you hit snooze and roll over, or do you rise immediately to seize the day? This might seem like a small decision, but it reveals volumes about your relationship with discomfort and your commitment to long-term success over immediate pleasure. Almost universally, self-made millionaires are early risers, but it's not just about waking up early. It's about what they do with those morning hours that matters. A regional sales manager for a mid-sized company was consistently performing at the same level as his peers. His income was respectable, but not exceptional. His career was advancing, but not rapidly. Then he made one change that transformed everything. He began waking at 5:00 a.m., 2 hours before his family, and 3 hours before his workday officially began. During these morning hours, he wasn't checking email or responding to others' demands. Instead, he dedicated this time to 3 specific activities: planning his day in detail, learning through reading or audiobooks, and focusing on his most important project before the day's distractions began. Within 6 months, his sales numbers had increased by 30%. Within a year, he'd been promoted. Within 3 years, he had started his own company that eventually made him a millionaire. Was waking early the only factor? Of course not. But it created the space for all the other changes that followed. It gave him the time to implement the other habits we'll discuss today. The wealthy understand something that others miss. Your most valuable asset isn't money, it's time. And the early morning hours offer time of unparalleled quality. Your willpower is at its peak. External demands are minimal. Distractions are few. But it's not enough to simply wake up early. Many people rise at dawn only to waste those golden hours on social media or mindless activities. Future millionaires wake up with purpose. They have a specific morning routine designed to set them up for productivity, learning, and success. A construction worker who eventually built a real estate empire worth tens of millions didn't have an advanced degree or special connections. But what he did have was a commitment to using his mornings effectively. While his coworkers would arrive just in time for their shift, he would arrive an hour early to study local property values, real estate principles, and investment strategies. This knowledge, accumulated in small daily doses over years, ultimately enabled him to identify opportunities that others missed. Ask yourself, how do you spend the first hour after waking? Are you beginning your day reactively, responding immediately to messages, news, and social media, or are you beginning proactively, focusing on your goals and priorities before the world can impose its agenda on you? The way you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Choose to rise early with purpose, and you've already separated yourself from the majority who let life happen to them rather than intentionally designing it. Habitee? They read daily for growth, not entertainment. What was the last book you read? When did you read it? And most importantly, what did you do differently as a result of what you learned? The average American reads less than 1 book per year after completing their formal education. The average millionaire reads more than 20. This stark contrast reveals a fundamental difference in how the wealthy approach knowledge and personal development. They view reading not as a leisure activity, but as a competitive advantage, a way to acquire wisdom, strategies, and ideas that they can implement in their own lives and businesses. A woman working as an administrative assistant began reading 1 book per week about business, psychology, and personal finance. Her colleagues spent their evenings watching television while she invested that time in her mind. Within 5 years, she had started a business based on insights gathered from dozens of books written by successful entrepreneurs. That business eventually generated 7 figures in annual revenue. It didn't directly create her wealth, no, but it exposed her to possibilities she would never have considered otherwise. It gave her strategies that shortened her learning curve by years. And perhaps most importantly, it shifted her identity from someone who works for others to someone capable of creating significant value independently. The wealthy don't just read more, they read differently. They read with purpose, taking notes, highlighting key passages, and most crucially, implementing what they learn. 1 book fully applied is worth more than 100 books merely consumed. What separates millionaires isn't just their reading habit, but their bias toward immediate application. While others might read something interesting and think that's a good idea, future millionaires think, how can I apply this in my life within the next 24 hours? A middle manager read about a new approach to team productivity and immediately reorganized his department's workflow the very next day. His superiors noticed the improved results, which led to greater responsibility and eventually a senior leadership role with compensation that made him a millionaire by his early 40s. The content of your reading matters too. Future millionaires gravitate toward nonfiction that builds their knowledge base in areas directly related to Wealth Create. Business, investing, psychology, history, biographies of successful individuals, and personal development. This doesn't mean fiction has no value. Reading broadly develops creativity and empathy, both valuable traits for success. But if wealth creation is your goal, ensure that a significant portion of your reading directly contributes to that objective. A powerful approach is to select one book that addresses your current greatest challenge or opportunity and focus intensely on implementing its insights before moving to the next. This prevents the common pattern of consuming personal development material without producing corresponding results in your life. Ask yourself, if you were to dedicate 30 minutes daily to reading material that directly contributes to your financial success, how would your knowledge and capabilities compound over the next 5 years? What might become possible that seems unattainable today? Habit 3, exercise consistently for energy and discipline. You might be wondering what physical fitness has to do with financial success. The connection isn't immediately obvious, but study after study of self-made millionaires reveals a striking pattern. They prioritize their physical health through consistent exercise. This isn't coincidental. The discipline required to maintain a consistent exercise regimen translates directly to the discipline required to build wealth. Moreover, regular exercise provides the energy, mental clarity, and stress resilience necessary to perform at your peak in your professional endeavors. A real estate agent struggled for years with inconsistent performance. Some months she would close several major deals. Others she would barely cover her expenses. The difference wasn't in her knowledge or even her effort, but in her energy management. When she began exercising for 30 minutes every morning, her energy became more consistent. This translated to more consistent prospecting, follow-up, and client service, which ultimately led to more consistent income. Within 3 years of establishing this habit, her annual income had tripled, allowing her to invest in rental properties that eventually made her a millionaire. The form of exercise matters less than the consistency. Some wealthy individuals prefer intense workouts. Others enjoy more moderate activities like walking or yoga. What unites them is their commitment to moving their bodies almost every day, regardless of how they feel or what other pressures they face. This consistency builds something beyond physical strength. It builds what psychologists call self-efficacy, the belief in your ability to accomplish what you set out to do. Each time you keep your commitment to exercise, you strengthen not just your body, but your self-trust. This self-trust becomes crucial when facing the many challenges on the path to financial success. An entrepreneur who built a technology company worth over $100 million credits his morning run with giving him both the mental space to solve complex business problems and the emotional resilience to handle the immense pressures of scaling a business. The discipline to run when I don't feel like it directly translates to the discipline to make difficult business decisions when I'd rather avoid them, he explained. Exercise also serves as a keystone habit, one that triggers positive changes in other areas of life. Those who exercise regularly tend to eat healthier, sleep better, and manage stress more effectively. All these factors contribute to better decision making, which is the foundation of wealth creation. Consider this. Would you trust a financial advisor who clearly couldn't manage their own health? Probably not, yet many people who neglect their physical well-being expect themselves to make sound financial decisions. Your body is the vehicle through which you'll create wealth. Maintain it accordingly. Ask yourself, how might your energy, focus, and discipline improve if you committed to just 30 minutes of exercise daily? What financial outcomes might become possible with improved physical vitality? Habit 4. They practice strategic elimination. One of the most counterintuitive habits of future millionaires is what I call strategic elimination. The disciplined practice of identifying and removing activities, commitments, and even relationships that don't directly contribute to their most important goals. While most people continually add more to their already overwhelming lives, more commitments, more projects, more activities, those on the path to significant wealth ruthlessly subtract anything that dilutes their focus or energy. A management consultant was known for his brilliance, but struggled financially despite working 70-hour weeks. His calendar was filled with commitments, industry events, committee meetings, helping colleagues with their projects, and mentoring junior staff. All worthy activities, but none that directly increased his income or built his wealth. When he began practicing strategic elimination, he made difficult choices. He resigned from committees that didn't advance his career. He limited mentoring to 1 hour per week. He declined social invitations that didn't strengthen key relationships. He even stopped watching the news daily, reclaiming that time for focused work on high-value projects. Within 6 months, while working fewer hours, he had increased his effective billing rate by 40. Within 2 years, he had saved enough to make his first major investment. Today, his net worth exceeds 7 figures, built on the foundation of learning to say no to the merely good, to say yes to the truly excellent. This habit extends beyond time management to consumption choices. Future millionaires understand that every dollar spent on depreciating assets or fleeting experiences is a dollar not invested in appreciating assets or capability development. This doesn't mean living a life of deprivation. Rather, it means making conscious choices about where your resources go instead of following default patterns of spending and time allocation. A teacher who eventually became wealthy through real estate investments practiced this habit by carefully examining his monthly expenses. He realized he was spending significant money on cable television, dining out, and impulse purchases, none of which brought lasting satisfaction or contributed to his financial goals. By strategically eliminating these expenses, he freed up capital to purchase his first rental property. That property generated both cash flow and appreciation, which eventually funded additional investments. His friends questioned why he deprived himself of common luxuries, failing to see that he wasn't eliminating pleasure. He was eliminating distractions from his true priority of building wealth. Strategic elimination applies to information consumption as well. The average person is bombarded with thousands of messages daily, most designed to prompt either consumption or outrage. Future millionaires are selective about what information they allow into their consciousness, focusing on knowledge that's useful, actionable, and aligned with their goals. An entrepreneur building an e-commerce business stopped reading industry news and checking competitors' websites daily. Instead, he focused exclusively on improving his product offerings and customer experience. This intense focus on what he could control, rather than industry gossip or competitors' moves, allowed him to build a distinctive business that eventually sold for millions. Ask yourself, what activities, expenses, or information sources in your life consume resources without meaningfully contributing to your most important goals? What would happen if you eliminated them for 90 days and redirected those resources toward wealth-building activities? The wealthy understand that success isn't just about what you do. It's about what you choose not to do. Every no to something misaligned with your goals is a yes to greater focus on what truly matters. Habit start their day with the most important task. The moment you sit at your desk, a battle begins. Emails flood your inbox. Messages ping your phone. Colleagues interrupt with questions. Each distraction pulls you toward urgency and away from importance. Future millionaires win this battle by completing their most valuable work before the day's distractions begin. They identify the single activity that will most advance their financial goals and tackle it first, not after checking email, not after attending meetings, but first. A freelance graphic designer struggled for years, barely making ends meet despite working long hours. Her breakthrough came when she realized she was spending her best morning hours on client emails and administrative tasks while pushing the high-value work of finding new clients to when she had time, which rarely came when she reversed this pattern, dedicating her first 2 hours each day exclusively to contacting potential clients. Her business transformed. Within a year, she had more work than she could handle. Within 3 years, she had built an agency with multiple designers working under her. The habit of prioritizing high-value work first didn't just increase her income. It completely changed the trajectory of her career. What single activity would most powerfully advance your financial situation if you did it consistently? Are you giving this activity your best energy or merely your leftover attention? Habit size. They cultivate meaningful relationships intentionally, contrary to popular mythology. No one becomes wealthy entirely on their own. Behind every self-made millionaire is a network of relationships that provided opportunities, knowledge, support, and connections. The quality of your relationships directly influences the quality of your financial life. Future millionaires understand this and intentionally cultivate relationships with people who elevate their thinking, expand their opportunities, and support their growth. A car salesman noticed that the dealership's most successful salesperson regularly had lunch with different community business leaders. Intrigued, he began doing the same, investing in relationships not for immediate sales but for long-term connection. These lunches rarely led directly to car sales, but over time, these relationships connected him to opportunities he would never have found otherwise. One lunch companion mentioned a commercial property for sale at a significant discount. That property became his first real estate investment, eventually leading to a portfolio worth millions. The wealthy approach relationship building differently than others. They don't network randomly. They strategically develop relationships with three specific groups: those more successful than themselves, mentors, those at similar levels, and those they can genuinely help on tease. This creates a dynamic network that both supports and challenges them. As yourself, are you intentionally building relationships that expand your thinking and opportunities? Or are you passively accepting whatever connections happen to surround you? Habits Seisney, they track their numbers daily. What gets measured gets improved. Future millionaires maintain a remarkable awareness of their key financial metrics, not just annually or monthly, but daily. This habit seems simple, but separates serious wealth builders from casual dreamers. By tracking their progress daily, they maintain constant awareness of their financial reality and make adjustments before small issues become major problems. A truck driver aspiring to financial independence began tracking three numbers daily: his spending, his savings rate, and the passive income generated by his investments. This simple practice created immediate awareness of his financial choices. Each purchase decision was made with full knowledge of how it would affect his savings rate and delay or accelerate his path to financial freedom. Within 5 years of establishing this habit, he had accumulated enough investment properties to generate income exceeding his trucking salary. Within 10 years, his net worth had crossed the 7-figure threshold. The specific metrics you track will depend on your wealth strategy. A business owner might track daily sales, customer acquisition costs, and profit margins. An investor might track savings rate, investment returns, and passive income. The key is having crystal clarity on your numbers rather than the vague awareness that characterizes most people's financial lives. What three financial numbers, if tracked daily, would give you the awareness needed to accelerate your wealth building? Could you create a simple system to monitor these metrics in less than 5 minutes per day? Habitate, they practice continuous learning through deliberate experimentation. The path to wealth isn't linear. It involves failure adjustment and constant evolution. Future millionaires accelerate this process through deliberate experimentation, systematically testing new approaches to determine what truly works rather than relying on assumptions or conventional wisdom. A retail employee wanted to create a side business but wasn't sure which opportunity to pursue. Rather than spending months analyzing options, analysis paralysis, or impulsively jumping into one venture blind action, she designed simple experiments to test multiple possibilities with minimal investment. She created small online offerings in 3 different niches, each requiring less than $500 and 20 hours to implement. 2 generated minimal interest, but 1 showed promising results. She focused exclusively on the promising direction, continuing to run small experiments to refine her approach before making larger investments. This methodology of testing assumptions through small, rapid experiments protected her from major losses while quickly identifying her most promising path. Within 2 years, her experimental business was generating more income than her full-time job. Within 5 years, she had built a $1 million enterprise. Some important assumptions about wealth building could you test through small experiments? How might your approach change if you viewed setbacks not as failures, but as valuable data from your wealth building laboratory? Habit 9. They practice gratitude and abundance thinking. It might surprise you to find an emotional habit on this list. Most discussions of wealth building focus exclusively on external actions, investing strategies, business tactics, and financial techniques. But the internal environment from which those actions emerge is equally crucial. Future millionaires deliberately cultivate gratitude and abundance thinking. They recognize that a scarcity mindset, the belief that there's never enough to go around, leads to fear-based decisions, unhealthy competition, and missed opportunities. Abundance thinking, by contrast, opens your mind to possibilities, collaboration, and creativity. A middle manager at a manufacturing company had always approached his career from a scarcity mindset. He hoarded information, viewed colleagues as competitors, and lived in constant fear of losing his position. This approach kept him safe but stagnant, with minimal growth in responsibility or compensation over a decade. When he began intentionally practicing gratitude daily, literally writing down 3 things he was grateful for each morning, Something shifted. His perspective gradually expanded. He began seeing opportunities where he'd previously seen only threats. He started sharing credit and information more freely with colleagues, which paradoxically increased his value to the organization. Within 2 years of this seemingly small habit change, he had been promoted twice. More importantly, he had begun seeing entrepreneurial opportunities within his industry that had been invisible to him before. Eventually, he started a consulting practice that helped manufacturing companies implement the efficiency systems he had developed, creating wealth that far exceeded what would have been possible in his corporate role. Gratitude creates a foundation for wealth building in several ways. First, it shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already possess, reducing the anxiety that leads to poor financial decisions. Second, it improves your relationships as people are naturally drawn to those who appreciate them. And third, it increases your resilience during the inevitable setbacks on your wealth building journey. This isn't about denying challenges or adopting false positivity. It's about training your mind to simultaneously acknowledge difficulties while remaining open to opportunities, a hallmark of those who ultimately build significant wealth. A real estate investor who built a portfolio worth over $20 million began each day writing in what she called her wealth gratitude journal. Rather than focusing only on what she had already achieved, she practiced gratitude for opportunities still unfolding, even those disguised as problems. For property and maintenance issues, she would write, I'm grateful for the opportunity to improve my management systems. When a potential deal fell through, her entry might read, I'm grateful for the protection from what might have been a problematic investment. This practice kept her moving forward when others would have become discouraged. And so how might your financial decisions change if you approach them from a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity? What opportunities might become visible if you focused on gratitude for what you already have rather than anxiety about what you lack? Now, habitensa. They invest automatically and consistently. The final habit that separates future millionaires from those who merely aspire to wealth is perhaps the most powerful yet least glamorous. They automate their investments and maintain extraordinary consistency, while others invest sporadically when they have extra money or when markets seem favorable. Those on the path to millions set up systems that invest automatically regardless of market conditions, economic news, or personal financial fluctuations. This habit bypasses the psychological barriers that prevent consistent investing. By automating the process, they remove both the need for willpower and the temptation to time the market, which has proven disastrous for most investors. A public school teacher with a modest salary seemed an unlikely candidate for millionaire status. Her colleagues often complained about compensation, and many lived paycheck to paycheck despite their professional credentials. Yet by retirement, this teacher had accumulated a net worth exceeding $300. Her secret wasn't a side business or inheritance. It was the automatic investment of 20 of every paycheck into low-cost index funds, beginning with her first job and continuing without interruption for her entire career. She lived on the remaining 80, adjusting her lifestyle to match this reality rather than adjusting her investing to match lifestyle desires. When the market dropped, her automated system continued purchasing, acquiring more shares at lower prices. When the market soared, the system prevented the euphoria that might have led to irrational investments. Through bull and bear markets, through personal challenges and triumphs, the system continued building her wealth without requiring continuous decisions or willpower. The consistency of this approach allowed her to benefit fully from the power of compounding, what has been called the eighth wonder of the world. While others might have achieved higher percentage returns during specific periods through active trading or market timing, few matched her long-term results because most couldn't maintain the consistency required. This habit counteracts one of the most dangerous tendencies in wealth building, allowing emotions to drive financial decisions. By pre-committing to an investment strategy and automating its execution, future millionaires harness the power of their rational mind while protecting themselves from the inevitable emotional fluctuations that derail so many wealth-building journeys. A business owner implemented this habit by establishing what he called his wealth account, a separate account into which 30 of all business profits were automatically transferred. This money had one purpose only: investment for long-term wealth creation. It couldn't be used for business expenses, personal spending, or even emergency funds which were maintained separately. This simple system created a psychological barrier between current needs and future wealth, allowing him to build significant investments while still addressing the immediate demands of growing his business. When colleagues asked how he managed to accumulate substantial wealth while they struggled despite similar revenue, this automatic separation of investment capital was the key difference he identified. What percentage of your income could you automatically direct to investments before you ever see it in your checking account? How might your financial future change if this percentage were invested consistently, regardless of market conditions or temporary needs? We've covered 10 habits that transform ordinary people into millionaires. None require exceptional intelligence, inherited advantages, or even extraordinary talent. What they do require is something both simpler and more difficult: consistent implementation. Knowledge without action is merely entertainment. You've now gained knowledge that could quite literally transform your financial future, but only if you translate it into daily habits. The moment of decision has arrived. Will you continue with business as usual, hoping that somehow different results will emerge from unchanged habits? Or will you commit to implementing even one of these wealth-building practices consistently until it becomes automatic? The gap between knowing and doing is where most wealth-building journeys end prematurely. Understanding these principles puts you ahead of many, but implementing them consistently will put you ahead of most. Start small, but start immediately. Choose one habit from those we've discussed, perhaps the one that resonated most strongly or seems most manageable right now. Commit to practicing it daily for the next 30 days. Then add another, then another. Remember that wealth is not built through dramatic gestures or occasional inspiration. It's built through small, consistent actions that compound over time. The millionaires walking among us aren't distinguished by what they do occasionally, but by what they do habitually. The future belongs to those who prepare for it today. Your financial destiny is being shaped right now, in this moment, by the habits you choose to embrace or ignore. Choose wisely, for today's habits become tomorrow's realities. Which of these millionaire habits will you implement? First,